that children at home and they are staying idle, and we have enough opportunity for them to come and learn what they can be able to do at home and keep them busy.
So farming was very nice. I learned how to water it, I learned how to dig, I learned how to put vegetables. Now I know sort of vegetables now, like skuma wiki.
Panda cabbage, panda nyanya. Hata tunapika huku Moriomi.
Mapanga au masheti, sawa? Unaangalia miguu. The yellow one.
It's called a control.
You can plant. Yeah, sure. And under hydroponics farming, okay?
From the stomach, come to the small intestines.
Yeah? But now you hear very good example of like what this guy has said.
Where we actualize and implement the competencies and the skills, attitudes and values that are supposed to be taught by runners in the CBC, practically and project-wise. The idea of the CBC Center, I can vividly remember, was conceived by the idea of one of our own, that is Professor Magoha. So as we continue mourning the professor, as Gravity Center, we will forever remain grateful for his idea of alternative learning during the time of COVID. This is when we as Gravity, we had an afterthought of how can we involve the runners. Now that the schools are not operating, that we started inviting the runners to our center. We had a small garden where the runners could be engaged in planting and taking care of the cropping, that is practicing the gardening practices. We had an amusement park where they could spend some of their time to keep them engaged. It is after the resuming of the running and the continuation of the learning process that the teachers, the parents were being involved in the implementation of the CBC curriculum. And there was a lot of outcry outside there because there was limited resources, equipment, facilities to implement the CBC curriculum. That's when we sat down as a team of experts and we asked ourselves, how can we solve this problem, or how can we fill this gap? And out of the initiative of the challenges of the CBC, we were able to come up with a CBC Center which is fully equipped to facilitate the learning of the CBC and to make it easy and more entertaining, learner-centered way. So as we eulogize and mourn the late Professor Magoha, we as Gravity CBC Center will forever appreciate his ideas and support because he has been a key implementer and support of the CBC curriculum. Gravity CBC Center as a project and practically oriented center had a lot of impact, positive impact in the life of the learners because most of the learners have been able to identify their potentials. So as a center, our main impact, our main idea is to nurture each and every learner's potential. And you have seen this practically because most of the learners have come to our centers. We have taken through the projects, the practicals, and when you go back to their schools, back to their home, they have started to do these practicals practically. For example, starting some of the gardens, layering of the animals, etc., etc. Not only the runners, even teachers outside there, most of them, I can say, do not have fully, they may have the knowledge and the content, but the skills, the knowledge and some of the attitude and the project and the practical approach of handling the CBC, they have limited. They have got limited skills. We have also been able to equip them with skills through workshops, through training that we usually have them on weekly, maybe on holidays as a center. So it's not only, the impact has not only gone to the learners, but even to the teachers and the facilitators who are actually the key components in the process of actualizing the CBC curriculum. As Gravity CBC Center, we can say we are fully equipped, not only to the lower schools or the middle level schools, we have also upgraded ourselves to the junior secondary school setup. Remember, grade 7 is the first pioneer class to be in the junior secondary. As Gravity CBC Center, we are fully equipped. We have upgraded ourselves equally to handle the junior secondary learners. As you can see, we have some of the models that are there in the junior secondary schools. This one is up in the integrated science, where the learners are supposed to learn practically on how the excretory urinary system of a human being functions. Not only this one, we have other centers inclusive of laboratories, a setup. We have upgraded our farm. We have upgraded our center to handle the junior secondary learners when it comes, when they are privileged to come to our center. As we continue with the new term, my first and foremost initiative is first to welcome all the schools and other stakeholders, inclusive of the new CS as Bwana Machogu, for the support, for the entrance support that he has continued giving the CBC. And we are cordially open for invitation for the CS to come to our center, even to know what happens at Gravity CBC Center. We are open for booking, so our clients outside there, feel free to visit our center to avoid the last minutes at rush.
I would say that the late Professor Magoha has been very instrumental in the startup of this CBC Center. Our focus when we were starting the Gravity Park was purely on amusement basis. We wanted the children to come and play during the weekend and as a form of recreation for the learners particularly, but we were not more interested in the learning as per se. Professor asked the parents to see the other alternative way of ensuring that the children are learning while at home. His statement during the COVID period made us to start thinking wider of establishing a CBC center that is all-inclusive. The impact of the late Professor Magoha during the COVID period by encouraging the parent to start or to think of alternative learning options is the one that made rebirth of this CBC center. We realized that they had a lot of interest to bring the runners to our farm. At that point, that's when we became very intentional and decided to go through the CBC syllabus and see the projects and the practicals that they are supposed to do during the term. And then we decided to have those projects, those practicals with us. And also we established another bigger farm that even include now all the plants mentioned in the CBC center and even the animals. We have very successful stories from the runners who have come to our Gravity Park CBC center because they are able to identify their talents and realize the areas of their potentiality. And as we speak, we already have one young girl who is our environmental ambassador for the Gravity CBC Center. She teaches other students in making of organic fertilizer through the worms, which we refer to as vermiculture.
This project called vermiculture, it started about 2 to 3 years ago, because it's something that you people at home, you can start it. It's a very easy process. Advise farmers to use the worm juice more instead of buying chemicals which you don't know the value that will add into the plant or the soil. So this, I'll say that the worm juice, it adds bacteria in the soil and fungi, which is very, very helpful.
Jina Mwalimu Sande Douglas kutoka katika shule za Lakewood. Leo hii tuko katika kituo hiki kwa ajili ya kusoma mengi kuhusiana na mtaala wa umilisi. Mtaala ambao umekuja kwa ajili ya kumboresha mwanafunzi wa karne hii ya 21. Mengi tumeyasoma hasa katika swala la kilimo, jinsi rahisi ya kumhusisha mwanafunzi na kumkuza ili anapokuwa asiwe tu mtu anayetegemea kuajiriwa, bali anaweza jua mbinu mbadala za mwenyewe kujiajiri na kujipatia pato. Kwa hivyo ni jambo zuri, limetufaa kama walimu, na kwa mzazi yote, shule yote ambayo iko pale nje, nafasi ipo, nyote mtaruhusiwa ili kusoma zaidi.